All right, we're gearing up for the big game, and we're trying to find the big game performers from a prop perspective. Brian Blessing here, bangthebook.com. In Las Vegas, looking forward to Super Bowl 53. And on the Patriots side of the equation, a player I've landed on that I believe can reap rewards for you in the big game is James White, the running back who is a big game player. Now, you're rolling the dice a little bit because you don't know week in, week out what Belichick and Brady are going to dial up. In the divisional round, James White had 97 yards receiving, and he was not a focal point of the game at Kansas City. So all of a sudden, people saw the last game with Rex Burkhead out of nowhere being this featured guy. They gave it to him on 4th and 1. He scored the game-winning touchdown. But I think in this game, I would look for James White to be a guy that Brady relies on, and he always steps up on the big stage. Now, some of the opportunities that exist with White receiving in the divisional round, 97 yards. Last week, he was not that big a component. I think he's going to be a big part of this game plan. Some of the numbers that are out there. The longest rush by James White, over under 6.5. I'm more thinking of White through the air here, but he will have some decent runs. Total rushing attempts by James White is only over under 3.5. So again, they're looking at him to be featured in the passing attack, and we're looking at that number with receptions by White over under 4.5. I would go over that total. I would go over 44.5 yards receiving for James White. His longest reception over under 15.5. I would take a look at that as well. If White is this featured guy, there are a number of opportunities for you. And then, yes, plus $1.30 for James White to score a touchdown, I think is very much within the realm of possibility. So the longest reception for White, 15.5, is another one. Again, I'm saddling up to a guy like James White for the Patriots. We'll do another video. I'm going to plead my case for Robert Woods from a Rams perspective, but trying to identify some of the guys that can step up to the plate. White is a very big one for me. And the other guy that I do believe is going to have a featured role in this game is going to be the wide receiver, Chris Hogan. He steps up in big games. Remember, against the Steelers, it was like they forgot to cover him. So if they're focused on White, they're focused on Gronkowski, I got a funny feeling, and Edelman's just been a beast over the middle. If Wade Phillips is going to try to take away Edelman, that's going to leave the door open for some opportunities for Chris Hogan. I don't know. He's on the board at 3.5 receptions in the game. I don't know that it'll be that featured a guy. I'd steer clear of that, but I would go over his longest reception, 19.5 yards, and over 42.5 yards receiving. For me, coming in for the Patriots, I'm looking at play on James White and the wide receiver, Chris Hogan. Always love talking with you here at bangthebook.com. Gearing up for the big game, soldiering on with prop videos for you. A lot more to come from Las Vegas. I'm Brian Blessing.